Hello, my friends, my apprentices. We are Module 3, Lesson 3 of the Eureka model. Be sure to know that we are now, let me underline what we're looking at. We're going to add fractions with unlike. Unlike meaning, different. My apologies for the interruption. That was our recess bell. Different. Okay. So looking at this, so using the strategy of creating equivalent fractions. Okay, before I take you there, let me just tell you something. Let's pretend these fish, these are flounder fish. We have two fish plus a second fish. Obviously, you know that will be three fish, but in this case, we're gonna call it flounders. They're called flounders. Okay, this has a specific name. It's a flounder. So on this side, we have two flounders and we have one flounder over here. And that is, those things are the same. They're easy to add. So now the answer is three flounders. Now, when we get to a situation like this, when you have different kinds of fish. For example, this one, the name is called the Garibaldi. Garibaldi. This is the name of this fish. So we have two Garibaldis, okay? And we're gonna add a flounder. Okay, now to take care of this one is going to be a little more difficult. We have to find something that they both have in common to be able to add them up. We're not gonna say at the end we're gonna add up and say we have two Garibaldis and one flounder. That was not an addition. So what we gotta do now, we have to find something in common. The one thing these things have in common is that these are fish. So the Garibaldis are fish. Okay? And the flounder is a fish. So now we have found something in common. So we have two fish plus one fish equals three fish, right? Or I think you can write it as well as fishes. Anyways, so notice that when we're adding fractions that have unlike denominator, like in this case, this will be a fraction with unlike denominator, and this one can be different from this fraction. We have to find something in common, just like we did it with the fish. These were Garibaldi fish, and these were flounder fish. The one thing they have in common, these two creatures are fish. So that's our conclusion. Now, if we actually do a problem, let's look at a problem that we can work on. So let's say we have, let me select my calligraphy pen. We have 3/4 plus 1/5. Okay, now we're gonna use a strategy called draw a rectangular fraction. We're gonna do exactly that. So what happens with the rectangular fraction? This number is going to be, this is going to be 3/4. So the denominator tells me that I have 4 parts. And it also tells me that there are 3 of them that are shaded. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to show, we're going to add that to 1/5. Now this rectangular fraction has to show 5 segments, and it's done by doing 4 lines. And we're going to show that with, it's going to be 1/5. So here's the 1/5. Now again, just like the flounder and the Garibaldi, if you pay attention, this will be your Garibaldi fish, and this will be your flounder. So we have to make them the same. Now, how do you make them the same? Well, let me tell you what happens. So this is going to become again 3/4. That is 3/4, and this is 1/5. So we do 4, we segment 4 times. And let me show you again. This is 3/4. and this is 1/5. Let me write it down. Now, because we're going to multiply this, and this is what happens. This number, the 4, is multiplied by the 5, the opposite denominator, which is a 5. And this is multiplied by 5. And this is multiplied by the opposite denominator, which is 4. And the numerator has to be the same, multiplied by 4. So let me rewrite that. That's going to be 3 times 5 on the numerator for this fraction, and 4 times 5 for the denominator. So there is our first solution. And the second one is going to be 1 times 4 over 5 times 4. This is our second fraction. So now let's show that on this picture. So the 4 was multiplied by 5. So we have to show 4 lines across, 2, 3, 4, and that will be 5. And the second one, we multiplied it by 4. So this is going to have 3 lines across, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the total of these has to match our multiplication up here. So let's do our multiplication first. So this must be 3 times 5 equals 15. Let me get a different color here. Over 4 times 5 equals 20, plus 1 times 4 equals 4, and 5 times 4 equals 20. Well, let's see if this is true on our fraction model. This one says 15, 20. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 4 equals 20. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 20s. So now we know that this is 15 20s. And this has to be the same amount. Let me do that below. So this 20 parts, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 times 4 equals 20. And how many highlighted? How many are 4? So now we have our common denominators, which is what happened up here. So now we're going to add them up. 15 plus 4 equals 9. That's 19. And the denominator is the same. So total, we have 19 20s. Well, let's see if it's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And that is correct. So the sum of 3/4 plus 1/5 equals 19 20s. Okay, my friends, review the video. This is your coach. And just review it again. Stop it. You got to stop the video before you move on until you understand it. Signing out from Studio 520, your coach, Mr. Magno.